Now that I've started my senior year in high school, there's quite a few things I'm dreading once it's time to graduate. Which colleges I'll be going to, where I'm gonna live, and most of all, what kind of roommates I'll have. See, I'm an only child, and I've never really had to deal with any kind of roommate whatsoever, so the thought of having to share a space with some random person makes me a little nervous. While I was having these kinds of fears, I was simultaneously thinking of video ideas, and after putting those thoughts together, I came up with a neat little video idea. How good would the main characters of Undertale be as roommates? Now we have seen the daily lives of many of these characters, if not all of them, so today I'll be ranking the main cast of Undertale as roommates from worst to best. Now this is all going to be my personal opinion of what I'm looking for in a roommate, so your list could be a lot different than mine, and if it is, leave a comment below on your personal ranking. Also, Frisk will not be included because they are literally just you. One more thing, this isn't a setting where all the monsters are free from the underground and don't have their human hatred holding them back. Anyways, without further delay, let's get started.
Well, guess what, punk? I'm a fish. With legs.
Now, Undyne, despite being at the bottom of the list, wouldn't be a horrible roommate to me. If you're not an enemy, she's pretty nice, and is a person who can hold a decent conversation. Not only that, but she's able to cook, and as a person who's only mastered the art of toast making, that's a pretty big positive. The only issue is that her negatives far outweigh the positives. For one, she's extremely into roughhousing, and I don't know if you'd count that as a positive or not, but I'm not trying to fight someone who can suplex a boulder. Not only that, but we've seen what happens when she gets too intense. Her incredibly destructive personality when she's enraged combined with her short temper makes Undyne my last pick when it comes to a roommate. At least her dedicated and hardworking personality would have her out of the house for a pretty long time.
Maybe it's the way you're dressed.
Oh, Sans. Now, if it wasn't for the fact that Undyne could potentially obliterate your home, Sans would be at the bottom. He's a tired, lazy, nihilistic little guy, and he's constantly leaving his dirty laundry around and won't pick it up. Not to mention, if something unfortunate happens to you, he has that trombone on standby to make your predicament a little more comical. For him, not you. Despite his lazy nature, he's a pretty decent and friendly guy. At least he won't completely destroy your living space like a certain fish person.
Joke's on you, I'm into that shit!
Now, out of the main cast in Undertale, Papyrus is my favorite. His jolly, upbeat personality is something I can really relate to, and yes, I'm a happy person. I just sound sad because I don't like recording my voice alone. Papyrus has a lot of good qualities when it comes to a roommate. For one, he's quite responsible, keeping most of his stuff stored in his own room. He also tries his absolute hardest to be a good host, to the point of losing feeling in his legs. This means having people over would be quite easy. When it comes to garbage and dirty laundry, he's very keen on keeping his living space clean. This can be seen when he sent a series of notes to his brother demanding he cleans up his socks, and despite a constant back and forth, Papyrus never picks up the sock himself because he isn't a pushover. Anyways, there are a lot of positives to our favorite skeleton, but there's quite a few downsides as well. For one, he's a horrible chef despite his passion for it, meaning that the house could potentially become a fumigated mess. Also, he'd constantly be asking you to try his food, and that's just going to result in you getting food poisoning. Overall, Papyrus is a solid roommate, and like Undyne, his ambition for work would have him out of the house for a long period of time. Now, Alphys is certainly a weird case. Personality-wise, the three below her are people I'd probably get along more with, but the issues she brings are a lot less tame than the rest. For now, let's go over the positives. Alphys is a pretty smart cookie, and if asked, she can probably make you a lot of cool stuff. She also doesn't need to be cooked for because her diet consists of mainly instant noodles. She also has some interesting gadgets and machines littered all over her lab, something that could definitely be replicated in your living space. Now, like I said before, Alphys' personality is one that would make conversation extremely awkward. Now, I'm not going to count the true lab kerfuffle against her in this scenario, but there's a chance that she would keep secrets while living with you, and I am not going to count Mettaton as something Alphys brings along with her, because if she did, she would probably be at the bottom of the list. I'm sorry, I just don't like Mettaton too much. Asgore is definitely the character that would probably cause the most controversy on this whole list, and I know what you might be thinking. Koos, how is a self-hating child murderer this high up? He'd be a horrible roommate. To that I say, hear me out. In a setting where he doesn't have the weight of killing children and freeing his entire race from eternal imprisonment on his back, Asgore would be a pretty cool roommate. From what I can tell, besides his self-hatred and depression, Asgore's a jolly, kind, helpful pushover who would make for a great roommate and friend. For one, he's great at making tea, and because of his apparent solitude in his palace, he's probably capable of making decent food. I think my only issue with him is how many flowers he keeps around. Like, it's genuinely an absurd amount, but that's just a personal thing, and besides that, Asgore would be a pretty great roommate.
What? It was obvious!
Was there any surprise to this number one spot? There's a reason why Toriel has become one of the most iconic moms in gaming history. Kind, caring, protective, capable of making an amazing pie, Toriel would make an amazing roommate. Now, I know you're probably thinking about the fact she refused to let Frisk leave the ruins and keep them there forever, but that was because she knew Asgore would eventually kill them. And because we're taking out the danger of a child murderer from the equation, Toriel won't try to keep you confined in one place. And because of that, her compassion and genuine desire to have a family would make her the best Undertale roommate to me. Also, she wants to be a teacher and I could use a lot of help studying because I am terrible at it. Alright, well that has to do it with this video. To be honest, I'm really scared about my senior year and going off to college, but inside I know it's all gonna be okay. Anyways, leave a comment on the Undertale character you'd love to roommate with, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.